Hi guys, welcome back to Modifix. My name's Dan and today we are modding. So today we're going to look at the stock stereo in the Civic Type R. We're going to remove that stereo and we're going to put in something a little bit more snazzy. I've got a double DIN Android Auto Sony all singing all dancing unit. So let me show you what I've got now and then we'll get on with the job. Right, so at the moment I've got this little baby here. It's called Pure. You can get digital radio on it. You can connect to your phone, Bluetooth music. You can use Spotify. Any sound out your phone will go through this. And then you've actually got a Spotify function, which I haven't really used. You've got phone book, so you can actually connect to your phone and do stuff on it. And then you've got settings, so you've got all the different settings. Now, as good as it is, I actually want a reverse camera on this car, and I'll show you why. Look at the view at the back. So the top window is tinted. I've got a Mugen spoiler on, and that little strip in the middle, I don't know how to point at that little middle strip there is the only bit that I can see out of. So when I'm parking, absolute nightmare. So reverse cam would be awesome. I don't know if I'm going to get a reverse cam in this video. I will try. I've got about 2 hours to complete the job. New stereo, run wires for a reverse cam and get the reverse cam in. So if I can, I will do that. If I can't, then it might have to be 2 videos. So let's get on with it. For anyone who's interested in that Pure Highway 600 thing, pretty good bit of kit. It's about 60 quid on Amazon or eBay or whatever, and that's the box over there. And what I actually wanted to show you was that is where it connects in. So that goes into USB. I've never seen a USB look like that before, but it does go in there. And then you've got a little 3.5mm jack that just plugs into that bit there, and that's it really. That's your wires. And then here you've got like digital DAB antenna, and then you have got a mic that comes off it as well, and it's all been very poorly wired up, so I'm going to remove all of that anyway, which should be a breeze, and put in all the stuff that I intend to put in. To do this install, there's 2 or 3 screws under here, and there's a few screws at the top. So in order to remove the screws at the top, you have to remove this panel here, and in order to get to those 3 screws there, you have to remove all of this. You have to remove the whole center console and this little center console bit here as well. And to remove that, you have to remove the panel here as well. So let me walk you through that quickly. Alright guys, first of all we're going to remove this bottom panel, because that actually stops you from taking this baby out here. So you need to remove it. There's a seam here, and just need to take this out here, this panel, and then reveal the screw under there. Alright guys, there's supposed to be a screw here, which on mine is missing, and then you take that out, and then all of this should just unclip. So let's try that now. There we go, and that came off with one big bang. So next we've got to take out the clip from there, which is missing. Can you see that? And then we have a little bolt on the other side. Let me show you in a minute. Okay, yours might be covered, but mine isn't. I've got another 10mm there, which is nice and loose. I think somebody decommissioned a load of stuff out of this car before they gave it to me, maybe some stereo or something, so I won't be surprised if there's a few screws missing at the stereo end as well. And that, rather annoying, oh, actually it's coming out. Rather annoyingly, I was going to say, I kept spinning in the hole, but anyway, that's out. So that yours might have a cap on it, and then on the front that will have a cap on it as well, and there'll be a clip in there, and that's it. Let me go to the other side, and hopefully that one's intact. Oh sorry, this bit here has actually got a cap on it, and you need to stay back seat. Right, this bit here has got the cap on it, so you need to pop that cap out and then undo the bolt under there as well. And that's what the cap looks like popped. And there's your 10mm underneath. Tell a lie, it's actually an 8mm, it's not a 10mm. So let me go and get one of those. Right, so I've got my little 8mm, and that's out as well. The one at the back is 8mm as well. It wasn't actually spinning with a 10mm. So they're out. Okay, around the passenger side, there's 2 clips, that one and that one. And then, let me just pop the seat. there's a cap on that, which is going to have an 8mm under it, and then a cap on that one with an 8mm. So I'm just going to undo all of those, same procedure as the other side. With these clips here, with these clippies here, all you have to do is pop the center in, like that, and then just pop the whole thing out. It's handy if you've got a little trim removal thing like that. If you haven't, you can use a screwdriver, and that's how you get all these scratches here. Alright, just lift this console up from the back like that, and that comes loose, and then you need to drag it in that direction, but I can't do that with one hand. The handbrake comes in the way, just be mindful of that you've got to get it through the hole, yeah? Alright guys, so at this point what happens is you lift this up and you pull that back. So you lift that up, pull this up from the sides, and then that comes out of those clips there, as you can see there, and there should be another one on this side, but I can't see it. Oh, that's broken. There you go. Someone's handily broken mine, thanks. But anyway, two of those come out of those two holes, and then you just pull it back. Now you can either leave it here, just pull it back and leave it, or you can undo those plugs down there and pull it right out of the way. I've got two USB cables going into the cubby as well. I don't know if that's stock. Let me know what the deal is with that. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm just going to pull this baby out, show you how to do that. First of all, unscrew your knob. As you can see, my gator's hanging, so I'm going to change that as well at some point and do another video for you on that. Now you got to pull this from this side. So I've got my lovely trim removal kit. I'm going to try and wedge that in there and pull it out, because I haven't got any nails to help me. Right, I wedged the trim removal kit in there to get it a little bit up, and then pull it out. Alright guys, mine had the original bit on it, and then it had this adapter on it because it's got that carbon fiber thing on it. And then once anyway you take that off, then this is free. Another thing I think I forgot to tell you is that you should normally have a cigarette lighter in here, a cigarette lighter socket, so you'll need to unplug this once you get it all loose, yeah? So keep that in mind. Once you've got that bit out, you've got to get this bit out. Alright, what I did was I put my hand under here and pulled straight, and these three babies here come out from underneath. Don't know if you can see that, but they come out from them slots there. So you need to pull straight towards you from under here. So maybe pull that up first and then pull towards you, and that should all come out, and that's it. I don't think there's anything attached to this, so I'm going to pull it out now. Alright guys, I've just pulled that out of the way entirely. The only thing that comes in the way is this handbrake, so just sort of bend the plastic this way and pull it out that way and then upwards. Just be careful that you don't scratch anything else in the process. I might do a bit of hoovering here at some point. I need to hoover the whole inside of the car really. Anyway, so that's out. Now can we see what we need to see? There's an 8mm here, and then there's another 8mm. At least there should be one. Don't think it is them actually. It's these two here. So there's one there and there's one there. So get those two out. Use an 8mm spanner or a screwdriver. I think a little ratchet and socket would do it perfectly. Like that little baby over there. But first I want to have a look under here, because there's lots of talk about breaking those clips at the back and lifting this up gently and all that sort of stuff. So you pop these front ones out, and then you got to get something longer to pop the rear ones out. So I'm going to give that a go now, see if I can do it without breaking it. Okay, so I popped this on this corner here. There was already indentation on mine. I don't know if you have one on yours, but I think the guy that had this car before was a bit of a cowboy, to be honest, because there's clips and screws and stuff missing everywhere, and he's covered everything in lovely carbon fiber wrap. But anyway, I went for this corner first, popped it out, and then just worked my way around gently around the front. And now if you lift it up, you can actually see that long clippy bit at the back. That's where it hooks in at the back. You'll be able to see them. They're similar to this one at the front. There's 2 or 3 at the back, which you need to pop. Very difficult to show. I'll show you when it's out. So you've got all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the back, and they go across here. So there's one in there, one here, one there, and then one right in that far corner. So you need to get a long screwdriver or something even wider than a screwdriver if you can, and then tuck it under the clip and twist it so it lifts up, and then gently pry it out so you don't break anything. Okay, and then back to the subject at hand. You got 3 screws here, 1, 2 and 3. Undo those, undo the bottom 2 8mm, and hopefully the stereo comes out. All right, once you've undone all your screws up the top and the bottom, then you just give this a firm tug from the bottom, pull it up from the top so it unsticks or whatever, firm tug from the bottom, and then drag it out. Now let's have a look. There we go. So that's out. Undo all your wiring, all your plugs. That plug there goes to your hazard switch, so undo that, undo all the plugs to the stereo. Then you should be able to take this thing out. I think there is one more plug on it somewhere, but let's see. You've got a whole load of plugs to pull out, so you've got all of these, and if you start from the left and work your way right, it's easier. And then you've got this parrot unit here. I don't know if that's stock. Let me know what it is if you know in the comments down below. But so you got that had the USB and the jack that I showed you that was in the actual center console. And then you've got these 2 plugs down here, which are for the volume up and down or whatever. So anyway, I've unplugged all of that, and this is now ready to rock and roll. What you can do next, which I don't need to do, is unscrew the hazard switch, those 2 screws there, and that should pop out, and then unscrew the vents, which is that screw and that screw, and then pop that out, because you'll have to transfer that to your new fascia. But my fascia already has them, so I don't need to do that. At this point you'd want to play a bit of spot the difference and make sure that everything that's in your old unit, which is that, is in your new unit. You're gonna need to mount your new unit up as well. Mine was quite an interesting process, but anyway, mine's in. And then just make sure all these clips are present, because you don't want any of that popping out. And then make sure you got the wiring, and it's time to swap it over. Okay guys, at this point I will reveal that I've got a Sony head unit with Android Auto. It's an AX3500 BT, I think that's what it's called. I'll put it in the link down below anyway, the name of it. Quite an expensive unit, has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, everything you can think of really. It's got DAB as well, so decent unit. I've bought a plug and play kit off of eBay, Dynamic Sounds I think it was, that should just plug into everything, and it's even got steering wheel control module, and everything should work. And then separately I bought a DAB antenna which will replace that horrible thing there and go on the screen somewhere. Alright guys, I've been messing about for a little while getting rid of the old antenna and stuff for the pure stuff, but now what I'm considering is that I need to run the wires for the DAB aerial, which is there, and I need to run the wire for the reverse cam, and I need to run the wire for one more thing, the mic. I think I'm going to get the glove box out and see if I can run everything this way. What I'm going to do is remove that screw there, which I've already started doing because I forgot about you guys, and then there's 2 clips, 1 and 2 there. There might have been something there, but no, that might be, yeah, actually I think there was a screw there and that's missing, so you have to take that one out. And then have a look under here, there's a couple under here, but let me just do some exploration and then I'll let you know. Yeah, alright guys, that was a massive struggle. I've managed to work the glove box loose, but it's almost like it's on suspended wires. There's this, like, see that wire there? It's actually clipped onto this, and when I pull the glove box, look at that, and that's what's holding it in, and I don't know what that is, to be honest, or why it's there, and I think it will be an absolute mother to put back on. I've got this as loose as I want it, so I undid all the screws and clips inside. I undid the 2 screws from underneath down there, and then the same on the other side here, and then the 2 silver screws which are down there. I like to pull this down, that's just held on by clips, and then this actually is clipped in as well, so there's a clip there, as you can probably see. There's another one down here, so you have to sort of yank it forward. It's very firmly in there, but anyway, I think I can get away with just having it suspended like this and run my wires. That's all I need to do really. So as long as I can run my wires, I don't really care. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's run some. I need to run the mic, the DAB aerial and the reverse cam wires, and then I'll be happy. Alright guys, I've got most of the wires in now. The reverse cam wire, I literally pull this down, posted it through the hole, and then just sort of followed around here, around this little area here, and I've dropped it down because that's going to go through here. And then the antenna, I actually posted it around there, through there, same route, over the top of the glove box, and then through that hole. Probably just see that, yeah. And then what I did was I got the trim tool and pushed the wire in between these two trims here, and then what I'm going to do later is just pop this trim and put this inside that trim, and then put the antenna where I need it. So next I've got to do the mic. Now the mic was a bit of a pain because the mic that I had wasn't long enough, so I've got a new one. I just went to Halfords, which was an absolute nightmare. Don't buy anything from Halfords, guys. Buy it in advance, get it on Amazon or whatever. But anyway, so I went to Halfords and got this, and now I've got to route that through, and as you can see the wire's very floppy. So I've got this wire here, which is like a 3-core or whatever it's called, household cable, but it's quite stiff, so I'm going to post that through here, and aim it about here, and then grab this through by taping it together. That's done. Right guys, I have routed video, mic, antenna all through, and what I decided was, instead of coming through that hole over there, I posted them all the way around the back and brought them round from there, just in case they come in the way of anything on the side. And all of the OEM cables come around the back, so I thought I'd follow the same trend. And then what I also did was I went and made this cable here, and this is phono leads and a remote live for an amp, which will be coming at a later date because I'm going to put a sub in this car. So woo! But anyway, I'm going to get these threaded through, and these will go a similar route to what the video cable went. I thought if I'm going to do the routing of the cables, I might as well just do it all together now. So that's getting done right now. That's going to go around here, through the hole, all around the back, and then down here, and then drop down. Alright guys, so the aerial and the antenna cables, what I've done is I've pulled this rubber down, and I'm going to put them in this gap here between the trim and the pillar, and then I'll run it all the way up and around here, and then back down again. Or in the case of the mic, that will just run along the top here and get attached somewhere along there. Okay, it's update time. The mic is in position, and I've just run that across the roof line, and then top of the pillar there, and that's it, done. Alright, and that's the aerial in. Not the best position for it, but it's a bit of a weird shape, that aerial, and it looks alright there. Right, next thing, all the cables that come down here, so this and the video cable, wherever that's disappeared to now, I think that's it there. I'm just going to rip this trim up and just push it as far back as I want it for now. So I might just push it up to here and then leave it in this zone over here, and I'll revisit that later after I put everything back together. Right, for this bit you just pop the trim off. So this trim here just pops off. There's 4 poppers, 1, 2, 3 and 4 at the end. So get your trim removal kit, jam it in there and pop it up. Might be the other way around actually, can't remember now. Yeah, no, it is that way. So yeah, so pull it out, and then what to do is pull this rubber out, and then those wires that you drop down from there, you can actually just push them around the trim, so you don't even need to take it off. Just push it in that channel there, like so, and then run all the cables behind that trim, and then just run them along here, put the rubber back, put the trim back, and you're sweet. Alright, what I've just done is I've actually pulled this to the side and pushed all the cables behind it, because you don't want to put them in that channel, because that's the channel that sort of the rubber sits on to hold it in place. So I've hidden it all behind this panel, which pulls out quite easily, and then I think I'm just going to put the trim over this wiring here and just run it down, put the rubber back now, and then rock and roll. I can start putting the car back together. And all of those cables have just disappeared, so they're gone, and I'll deal with them later now. I just want to get all this mess back together now and get the stereo in, so that'll be good, and just test everything out. So I think I'll put this glove box back together now. So that's just, I've got to pop these pins back in where they've got to go in those slots, and then put all the screwies back in where I took them out. Righty ho, that's the glove box area back together. So that trim, I just banged it back in, and then the two clips, 1 and 2 are back in the hole, and then there was that little screwy there with the little damper on it. There's one missing there, so I need to get one for that at some point. And then those two little screws are in as well, and that's it. That's the glove box all nice and solid again. Now I think I will put the stereo in, the pièce de résistance. Alright guys, it's still not that straightforward. So we've got the remote for the amp, which is that, which is normally the blue wire, which is for a remote antenna, but in this case it's actually being used on the antenna. So I'm going to T-tap into this wire, the blue one, and that should give us our remote antenna. And then we've got here, we've got a handbrake, parking brake thing, which is supposed to be a safety thing for the stereo, so you can only use it when you're like stopped for video or something. I don't know what that is, but I'm not plugging that in at all. Then we've got the reverse camera wire, which is that one there, and that needs to be connected to this little red here. So I'm going to put some spades in or something, or bullets, and then that yellow goes in the back of the stereo there. The phono cables for the sub, I'm surprised actually, but it's only a mono, I guess, so it's just one for the sub there, and that's being plugged in for now. And then you've got the digital aerial, which will get connected to that, and that's it really. The rest of it's just normal bread and butter stuff. There is actually on the steering wheel control module, which is here, you've got this that plugs into the Sony stereo into that remote port, so that allows all the steering wheel controls. Yeah. Okay, now this bit is very specific to this stereo. I've got the patch lead here. I have wired those two wires up, so the reverse in has been wired to the reverse red on the video cable. That's done and taped up so it doesn't arc out on anything. And then I've T-tapped into the remote wire. Just got to make sure I've insulated the other end of this green wire, because I haven't connected it to anything yet, and I don't want it to arc out on anything either. Now all we've got to do is plug everything in and test it basically. So let's do that. So this main plug is the Sony plug that will go in that hole, and then I've got the remote needs to go in there. I've got the mic needs to go in there, and I've got the sub wire needs to go in there, aerial in there, camera in there. You get the picture. Alright guys, and that is everything in. The subwoofer in there, aerial in there, video in there, mic there, remote steering wheel controls there, main plug there. And then I forgot to mention, this is the USB cable that actually comes out of the stereo, and that's hardwired in, and that goes down here, and that's for the Android Auto. So I'm gonna make that go into the hole where the USB cables came out in the center console before. That's where that's going to live. So that's everything. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention DAB cable, that's done as well. A lot of cabling. I'm going to try and shove it all back in the hole now. Alright guys, I've done a bit of testing. So everything seems to be working fine except for DAB. DAB doesn't seem to be finding anything. So I'm just going to double check the connection on that. It just says no signal, so I don't know if the aerial just crap, the one that I've got, or what. But the USB here, when I plug that into my phone, it doesn't allow me to use it unless the handbrake's pulled. And what I figured out is this wire here, the big green one that comes out the back of the stereo, you need to ground that wire. Basically the handbrake, when it's up, is grounded, so you need this to be grounded. So I'm just going to ground that wire permanently, and that will be that. I might just actually loop it into the black wire, which is already there in the back of the stereo, and then that'll be that. Okie dokie, connecting that green wire to the earth cable has done the job. And now, as you can see, I've got all of my apps, what I've got on my phone, on the stereo, which is brilliant. And I have tested them and they all work, so that's fantastic. Spotify, Waze, all the important apps, you know, Maps, Messenger. I obviously don't advise using video apps whilst you're driving, but it's rather annoying that it won't let you use Android Auto unless the handbrake's up, so I had to bypass that, obviously. Alright guys, I'm going to put the 3 screws back in the top now, and then put that panel back in and put all of this crap back in, and that will be done. Alright guys, and the stereo is all done, and all of this has been put back as well as it's supposed to. There's some cables and stuff there, don't worry about them for now. The carpet needs a good shampooing, really. I did hoover it and it didn't come out very nice. That's a job probably for tomorrow. But anyway, stereo is in. It looks beautiful. It does a lot of stuff. I'll do a separate video on a review on this stereo. It's a Sony XAV-3500 DAB, that's what it's called, and I'll use it for a bit as well, and just get used to it and make sure I know what I'm talking about before I do that video. But apart from that, everything is done. So guys, in the next video I'm going to fit the reverse camera. So I've run the wiring up to the back, but I've got to run it through the quarter panel and all that stuff. So I'll do that a separate video, and then just breaks this one up a bit. I think it's going to be a bit long. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you took something away from it. It helps you out fitting your stereo. And if it did, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and subscribe to the channel for more juicy videos on the Civic Type R and the other cars. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.